Hey guys, thank you for tuning into your favorite UFL sports bettor. And before we get started for week number 8 and our predictions, I would like you guys to hit that like and subscribe button for me and leave your comments below afterwards. Much appreciated. And I'm so happy that now we're getting to that playoff stretch where we're at week number 8. And guys, I got to tell you, week number 7 was so disappointing seeing Louisville beat the DC Defenders. It just ruined everyone's parlay with that game. Guys, we're going to cash it in this weekend. We're going to really come through this weekend because I got some good spreads and some good teams that are definitely going to cash us in. Let's start with the first game, right? The 5-2 Orlando Storm coming off a big victory against the Houston Gamblers. I wasn't impressed that they kept the Gamblers around, but now they're heading towards the 3-4 Dallas Renegades, who fell off the cliff after starting off 3-0. Austin Reed has not played well. Guys, you know where I'm going with this. And how funny that Vegas made the Orlando Storm the underdog. That's kind of odd to me because I know that Dallas is desperate for this victory, right? 4 straight losses. At some point, they got to turn this around. I know Rick Neuheisel's a fantastic coach. He coaches well. And could this be the game they turn around? This is going to be a tough bet. This is upset special as well. That's why I put an asterisk next to this game. I'm taking that plus 2.5 for the spread. And I'll tell you why. The underdog Orlando Storm, they're 5-2. We're getting, Anthony Beck's a fantastic coach, knows how to get his teams fired up. But they're now going to travel to Dallas, where they're going to get the Renegades, a desperate team at 3-4. But I'm a money line the Storm because I feel like at the moment they're the much better team, but not by much, by this tad, right? And now they're going to take on the 3-4 Renegades. They desperately need a win. They got talent, but it's the play of Austin Reed that really hurts me. So money line the Storm. Take the over and under, which is kind of high, or 45.5. I'm going with the over of 45.5. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some scoring in this game. But I'm going to stick with that plus 2.5 simply because I love that spread, and I think we should jump on it, being that the Orlando Storm is the underdog. So that's what makes it interesting for me. I don't know what Vegas knows. I know what I'm seeing, right? Bad play by Austin Reed, but we're going to take the Orlando Storm in this game. Let's move on to the next game, and I will show you the whiteboard at the end of this. We got the disappointing DC Defenders coming off a huge loss against the Louisville Kings. The Defenders, 5-2, are now going to travel to Louisville. I hate these back-to-back weekend games against the 3-4 Kings, right? The Kings are trying to salvage their season, but I just think that terrible, terrible personal foul that the DC Defenders committed on Chandler Rogers, the quarterback, changed the whole game. They were ahead 13-3. Then they did what I always said throughout the year. They're an aggressive defense, but they play undisciplined football on defense. And Blake Williams, I know he tries to fire up his football team and everything. He loves to play aggressive, but he's got to get this defense under control. I believe that will be their Achilles heel when they get into the playoffs. But I do like the Defenders to come back and rebound from a game that they played already with their opponent. I hate these back-to-back weekend games. But I'm moneylining the Defenders, right? Jordan Tyler also played terrible. He did have a lot of passing yards, but he threw some key interceptions. They're 5-2. They want to stay in first place. They're the defending champs. I think they will prove that last weekend was a fluke. I'm moneylining the Defenders. I'm taking the over yet again of 45.5. I'm taking the over. I think there'll be some scoring here, but I'm taking a +6. I think the Kings will keep it close just to prove that last weekend's game wasn't a fluke. But I'm taking that +6. Let's move on to the next game. We got the Houston Gamblers, 2-5. They are who they are, and they're heading to the 5-2 St. Louis Battlehawks. Guys, I know I always say it all the time. What more can you say, right? The Battlehawks are the much better team here. We're moneylining the Battlehawks. We're taking the over and under 43.5. We're going to go with the over of 43.5, but we're taking the +7.5. You could easily take the -7.5 because I just think the Battlehawks might win this game by 10, right? And I'm saying this, meanwhile, I'm putting up a +7.5 for the Gamblers. I don't like the Gamblers on defense. I don't like the way they play on defense. Every now and then they'll make a stupid penalty, And they're like the defenders. They play aggressive, but they're undisciplined on the defensive side. I don't like the quarterback play either, right? The rotating quarterbacks with Hunter Decker and now John Rice Plumlee, who came in last week and looked okay, does a lot more running than throwing. But Hunter Decker is the better quarterback. However, wow, 2 bad overthrows in that Orlando Storm game probably cost them the game and a chance to win at the end. I don't like their chances against the Battlehawks. It's a no-brainer, right? What money line the Battlehawks? The over 43.5 and the plus 7.5 for the Gamblers to stay in the game. But I think you could take a minus 7.5. All right, the final game. The 2-5 Columbus Aviators at the 3-4 rising Birmingham Stallions. They're trying to position themselves for the playoffs. They are really looking good these past 3 weekends. The play of Dorian Thompson-Robinson is incredible. He's fired up the whole football team. They're a much more talented football team than the Columbus Aviators. I just think the money line should be on the Stallions. We're going to take the over 45.5, and we're going to take that -3 also. I think that's a no-brainer too. This is another game in which the Stallions should be able to win, get to 4-4, start positioning themselves to be one of the top 4 teams to get in the playoffs. As for the Columbus Aviators, don't like the head coach Ted Ginn Jr. And they had a brain fart at the end of that game against the Battlehawks. You're down 2 scores. You needed to go for 3. You also saw an assistant coach tell him you should have went for 3. I mean, they know the UFL rules. I didn't understand why they tried to kick an extra point and the kicker still missed the extra point. Incredible, right? We're seeing too much of that in the UFL. And it cost them an opportunity to keep the game close and come back and possibly tie the game at the end. Just a brain fart by the coaching staff for the Columbus Aviators, But because of that, this is why they are who they are, 2-5. They're not good. I don't see them beating the Stallions. Stallions are surging with DTR at quarterback. I love the way they've been playing. They're fired up. They're going to be dangerous down the road. And right now they're positioning themselves, So I do see this game going the Stallions' way. And guys, that's how I'm going to roll. I'm going to show you the whiteboard right now, and you guys could take some notes. All right. Can you guys see that? All right. Let me push it a little closer. All right. You can see the asterisk for the Orlando Storm, against the Renegades. And the reason for it is because the Renegades are desperate. They've lost 4 straight. They've fallen off the cliff. The play of Austin Reed has been poor to terrible, and it's costing them a chance to get into the playoffs, possibly. But they're desperate. And what do desperate teams do? They're going to play their best game. And right now, they need to. I didn't like the way the Storm played against the Gamblers. Maybe Vegas knows something. I don't know, because they have the Orlando Storm at 5-2 as the underdog heading to Dallas, who's 3-4, and watching the way Dallas has been playing the last 4 weekends. Maybe Vegas knows something I don't know. Maybe this is the upset special of the weekend. Maybe Dallas wins this game and stops their losing streak. Whatever it is, this is a tough game to bet. As far as everybody else, DC is probably going to rebound from embarrassing themselves against the Louisville King. Maybe they will, stop with the stupid penalties on defense, because it seems like every weekend the defense is the only one committing these stupid penalties. I mean, what is going on? I know you want to play aggressive. I know Blake Williams is trying to prove to be the next Buddy Ryan or Mike Dicker, whatever it is. And he's trying to be maybe like his father, Greg Williams, who was aggressive as a DC. But this guy needs to get his defense under control. You can't be making stupid penalties like the shot you took at Chandler Rogers. That turned the game around. They were up 13-3, and I lose a parlay because Louisville puts up 27 unanswered points to defeat them. They got fired up after that. I just don't think the Kings will have enough this weekend. It's a back-to-back weekend game. I hate that about the UFL. We need to do better with the scheduling, but I get it. And Battlehawks, you know that I always say it's a no-brainer. I don't like the way the Gamblers are playing, so we're going to take the Battlehawks there. Same with the Stallions and Aviators. Anyway, guys, let's run to those sports books at your local casinos. Let's cash in at your sports apps. whether it's DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, 365, whatever. Let's cash these in. And I think this weekend, week number 8, is going to be a whole lot better than what we just experienced in week 7. So, guys, good luck out there. And yet again, hit that like and subscribe button for me, please. And leave your comments below. Love to hear from you guys. I need the viewers. I need the subscribers so I can continue doing this for you guys so we could continue cashing it in. Good luck next weekend. And hopefully I'll see you for week 9. All right, guys. Peace out.